Morning, Jason. Morning, Tom.
Morning.
Morning, how are you, sir?
Morning, Bob.
Good morning.
James.
Morning.
Morning, Jamie. Morning, Debbie.
I don't know. Work
Hi, Ed.
to little this, little that. Fans and ceiling fans and lighting and so on and so on. But I did notice one thing at the yes, that I was kind of interested in.
Mhm.
They have a new Craftsman blower, $60.
Ooh.
It's not bad. That's not in the box.
Hello, everyone.
Couple box.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
And they have straight chef Craftsman weed eaters. And they're, they accepted the two-piece,
Mhm.
$70. They're brand new.
Morning, can you hear me?
Morning, sir.
Morning.
Yes.
Morning.
Morning,
Loud and
Gordon.
clear.
Good morning.
Look at Jim. Okay, it looks like we're still missing a couple of bodies. I don't see Tony. Let's see, who else? Harry? You here, Harry?
Just
All right,
talking to Harry. He's going to be on.
He is going to be on. Okay, good.
Yeah, yes, I was just talking to him, yes.
So, okay, well, we'll just move ahead. I am right outside Washington, DC. June and I came up to visit my son and his family, do some grandparent chaperoning. And normal computer, I'm using an iPad, so toggling back and forth between documents is probably not going to happen for me today. So I'll do the best I can. I don't expect it'll be a very long meeting, but that remains to be seen. I guess the first thing is call to order. And I'm hearing a little feedback. I don't know how to not do that, so.
Well, I think
apologize.
most people should just mute when they're not speaking. I think that'll help you.
I agree. Can we mute?
Bob, you muted yourself, though.
Yes.
How's that? Is that better? Somebody
Yes,
take
now we
it.
can hear you.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
better.
So we need to approve the minutes from the last time. Anybody want a motion to accept them?
I've read the minutes, Bob, and I would make the motion to accept them.
Okay, and anybody else second?
Second, Gordon Brand.
So obviously no discussion about them. Everybody's good. Okay, accepted. Perfect. Okay, Doug and Steve are in Sky Valley today with the first round of photography. So I'm going to try to cover some of the things from Doug's normal report that he makes. And I'm going to, again, try to toggle out to go to his report so I can speak with certainty. So if I disappear, I'll be right back. Okay. Am I still there? Somebody answer me?
We can still,
Okay, good. All right. All right, I just want to have this in front of me. He's had a lot of good stuff going on, particularly in this last month or for the month of June. He sent out an email blast to over 100,000 people, for Florida primarily this time. He refers to quite a few publications. Gulf Coast Florida is an email that's going to go out in early June to 150,000 people in the Tampa, Naples demographic area. He sent an article from Pro Golf Weekly, which was very nicely done. Now, because Doug represents his own company, Georgia Golf Trail, This is not just an article about Sky Valley, but he gets us mentioned and maybe a little paragraph about us in virtually everything he does. So if and when you get these reports, I strongly suggest that you go and read the articles and see what Doug's doing for us, and also what we're getting for the money that we pay Doug, which I think is fairly significant. And the council did approve that we rehire or hire again Doug for the next year. With Ed's help, we got the 80 gift bags to Doug for the Sugarloaf Golf event this coming June 8th. We put in maps and brochures from the club and teas, and Doug was going to do golf balls, and we threw in some maps, so as well as the logoed bag. So they were happy with that. He's talking about media trips to Sky Valley, and he's going to do that kind of like we did last year, where we had several golf writers come play golf, put it out on their site and so on. So he wants to continue to do those. I don't have too many specifics other than the one he mentioned. The Ohio Golf Journal wants to come in August, and apparently, we have people that actually do come here from that far away, and we're probably going to need to do another. They say, they eat, they play, they go back and write about it, and put it on his radio show. And he says they reach 250,000 people a month in the Midwest. So again, we do get some mileage out of that. Speaking of radio shows, I want to thank Jamie again for the great job she did on the radio interview back within this past month. I know Holly sent it out so it could be linked, and a great job, Jamie. I knew that your Southern style would be better than having some craggy old guy, namely me from New York, being on it. So it was very pleasant. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Glad we could do it and be on that show.
Yeah, I think it had a great impact.
They actually have sent an email. They want to come here next year.
Great.
Yeah, it involves, expenses, but that might be something we want to talk about during this year before next summer.
And maybe what we could do too, I was just thinking this, you can just decide if you want to. Steve is, whenever he's in town to do his videoing, maybe we can get you on videotaping and become a video star as well as a radio star.
We'll talk about that.
Apparently there's a group that wants to come up from South Florida, and he's working on that. Golf Central magazine wrote an article, and we were included in that. So I really think we're getting some, and being we're in our season now, we're getting some mileage of what Doug can do for us. Now, I know that he sent out an email, and I'm not going to toggle to that because it might make me go off into the Ethernet somewhere. But he was trying to set up stuff where, we talked about it before, of photographs of certain places that might need approval, like if we were taking pictures of a particular house. I don't know what the legalities of all that stuff are. Do we need releases, and could we get that done? And then also for maybe some of you folks, I know that Jim has said that they could use his deck or something to take some high level views of Sky Valley. So if he asks for those kinds of things, and he's more likely to ask those between meetings as things happen, could some of you please do what you can to help him set it up, or refer, or get a release if that's needed? Or I know a lot of you guys are millionaires, so perhaps we could view your homes and your back decks and all that. You don't want to come to mine, because mine is just like a little old cabin in the woods. So we love it, but it's not impressive. But if you can respond to him as quickly and on time as you can, that would be a big help to him. I know he's been in contact back and forth with Elizabeth at the club about trying to get places and times where there's actually people, sitting, eating out on the back patio and stuff like that. And I guess they're working on it. She responded that she had a bunch of stuff going on yesterday, but nothing today. So it'll probably have to happen in future visits. And that's pretty much Doug's report. Next, kind of a big thing is the Stay and Play Committee. Now, I know that the Country Club actually has put on their site Stay and Play packages, and you can go to the certain places that they have actually made links to. I just happen to link into the vacation rental by owner, but I would like to just have a discussion, if we can, on those of you from the committee, because I don't think all the information that you guys have been working on is posted yet, and what may need to be done, what steps to be taken, so that we could at least get them out there as soon as possible. I mean, I know we're in season and we're trying to get stuff done, and the things that we're doing are going to hopefully have long-term effects. So if it doesn't happen today, tomorrow, next week, even next month, that's fine. But we want to kind of put it in place so that some of the stuff that we've done and are doing will be continuing, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel every time we get together, every time there's a new season. Like even with the print media that I've kind of been managing, is I think we've got it down to here's what we want to use for the time being. And obviously, if you're spending money with any kind of media, they're going to come back, hey, do you want to do this? Hey, do you want to do that? After a few pointed questions, I'll say, no, I think we're good. We're not going to do that. For example, we all voted we would continue to do the Mountain Traveler magazines, and the Spring Summer magazine should be delivered to us sometime this coming week. And by the way, there'll be copies available down at City Hall. And there are copies, as I mentioned from the last meeting, that North Georgia map, literally a map that we put a double size means twice the size of a business card ad right up in the map, right close to where they can see Sky Valley, because Sky Valley is not the biggest location on the map, but figure, hey, let's put this big ad that's designed similar to our other, highest, coolest city in Georgia logos. Now, it's not in full color because the map is a white background with green, but as close as we could get it to look like our logo and flavor of our advertising is in there. So those are available at the City Hall if you would like those too. I also have a case of those back in Sky Valley in my other vehicle that we could make them available to people. Also, I went down to the City Hall and picked up some of the stickers that we made last year, the oval destination stickers and the bumper stickers. And I haven't had any new ones printed because I actually wanted to discuss this with you folks. We had about 1,500 of each printed, and we're down into the handful of maybe not even hundreds, because I couldn't even put 80 together of the bumper stickers for the golf thing, which is fine. But I guess the question I have is, there's still some that are available at City Hall and still some available at the Pro Shop. And I've got a small amount of extras to replenish. But I was just wondering, do you think we need to go ahead and have another printing, continue to have those available? Was that worth what we did? I think it made a pretty good impact, but that'll tend to dissipate over time. And although we do have had several new people moving in, I guess I'd like to know from your standpoint, is it worthwhile doing? Now, the last time we did it, we were able to get Forward Raven to pay for it out of their marketing monies, which technically are our marketing monies. So it didn't really cost us anything except a trial run of a small number. So if we can get them to do it, it doesn't technically cost us anything directly, because it comes out of the fund that we technically pay for, contribute to with the hotel and motel money. So if we do it, it's not like it's coming out of our budget that is being managed out of City Hall. So I guess my question is, and I'm gonna try to go back to where I can see you folks. I'll be trying to do that in just a second. Hopefully I won't disappear again. Oh, hey, okay. So, do you think it was worthwhile? Do you think we should do it again? Do you think, because it's not an expense, it's something worth doing, or should we save that opportunity to present something else to Ford Raven for them to pay for? Any opinions or discussions?
Bob, I think that particularly the little oval ones
Right,
should definitely be reprinted. And, you know, we get so much mileage. Everybody drives their cars around and, you know,
yeah,
what a great way to publicize that the people that live in Sky Valley like Sky Valley enough to put a decal on their car, even if they're not
Sure.
decal people.
I agree. And that's why we did it in the first place. And I agree with you that this is my opinion, that the oval is great. Many more people wanted the oval than the normal bumper sticker.
Okay.
I have put bumper stickers on 2 of my vehicles, and I don't have the oval one on my truck anymore because, as some of you remember, I ran it into a tree and I don't have it anymore. So I may need to get a new one. Anybody else with opinions about the stickers?
I agree with Jim. I think it was a success, but I'm not sure about redoing the bumper sticker.
Okay,
Yeah, I agree with the oval, but bumper stickers are kind of passe, for lack of a better word.
definitely 1960s, 70s. Now, I also did put one of them, we have a travel trailer, so I put one on the back of my travel trailer. So if we go places, I think that's good because it gives a better description. But you're right, Carla and others, I think maybe the bumper stickers have outdated themselves. So being, I don't know, we don't necessarily have to vote on it, being if we can get it, especially if we can get Ford Raven to use our own money to pay for it, then maybe what I'll do is I'll get maybe another 1,000 or more, but just the oval stickers. And then before it was like we took a poll when we did the survey in the community in conjunction with the city council, but maybe there's some way we can actually get them to them directly. I know we offered it to them to come pick them up, but apparently at the very beginning there were quite a lot of people that came by. And of course, the pro shop liked the traffic that it generated. So when we get them, we'll figure out a way to distribute them as an effective way as possible. All right, good. Now getting back to, I got a little off topic there, getting back to the stay and play. Doug's not here, but those of you that are on committee, I know Carla's and that, Joe.
Yeah, I have an update on my
Okay.
list. So.
All right, I'll let you do it then.
Okay, so I contacted everyone on the list from City Hall. Had to leave messages for most people. Said that I was calling on behalf of the city and the city council and specifically the marketing committee. I'm trying to pull up my list. Have not received calls back from many people. You know,
Okay.
perhaps nobody answers their phone for phone numbers they don't recognize nowadays
Of course.
because of the spam. And, you know, I will follow up with people again that I left messages for and haven't heard back. One big issue that we have, and I brought this up to Jason the other day, is that we have over 300 rentals in Sky Valley proper that are listed on Verbo. Of
Okay.
those, we have probably less than 60 that are paying tax, because that's all I got on the list from Karen. And I know that that's a rampant problem here. The state of Georgia and Raven County get their money now directly because they pursued Verbo for that process, so have many other states, because people were not paying it on their own. So in effect, they basically said, you can't operate here if you don't pay us. So Verbo collects the taxes for Georgia and also the county tax. They do not, however, collect the city of Sky Valley tax. Therefore, it's on every owner to remit that tax every month, which is a pain, which I have complained about to the city clerk. However, we're losing a fortune in city funds because people aren't paying that money. And I had spoken to the city clerk once before about a particular property near me. And she said that the lawyer seemed to indicate they couldn't really do much. And I don't understand why, because it's in the code. It's also, I haven't looked, but I'm sure that because of the way Verbo sets up their tax system, when you put in your zip code, they know where you are and they know that there's a city tax and they require you to enter that amount. And in every rental you get, they'll say, you know, taxes remitted by us, which is the Georgia state and the county, and, you know, taxes remitted by you. And they pay you that money because they collect it. It's calculated in your rental. And then it's incumbent on the property owner to remit that to the city.
Okay,
There are some situations where people can remit all the taxes, but I suspect most people do not do that, as I do not, because it's a bookkeeping pain. But if they're collecting the tax and being paid the tax and not sending it to the city, that's against Verbo's rules. So all we'd have to do is compare what's on Verbo to our list of people who are paying and say, listen, these properties are not in compliance and you're collecting money, you're remitting it to them and they're not remitting it to us. And Verbo had spoken to me and said they would take them off the website. That's a
Awesome.
little off track for this conversation, but I do think it's something that we need to start pursuing, because even if we weren't talking about this stay and play package situation, that's a ton of money that the city is legally due and is not getting. And perhaps we need to streamline that process, make it annual or something. Right now, apparently it's code that you have to do it monthly, which I will admit I don't do. I do eventually pay them, but I don't do it monthly.
right.
However,
Carla,
that's an issue. So
Carla.
anyway, I contacted people on the list. The ones that I was able to speak with were receptive, but nobody wants to give a discount to be part of this package. And the reasons for that are various, mostly because people have all the rentals they can handle right now. Not even just in this last year, which has been very good for rentals, but even before that, many people aren't even on or don't even get most of their rentals from those platforms. A lot of them have been doing it long enough. They have private lists, which I myself do as well.
Sure.
So I think the most that we could do is do what we're doing is direct them to the Verbo website. I mean, this would be the one time in history that I would be in favor of having a hotel in Sky Valley, because then you could probably work out, you know, some kind of situation. But with all of these individual renters, I understand the point of advertising them, or I guess promoting them. Maybe we could highlight the ones who are paying, but just linking to Verbo is definitely going to be the easiest and less time consuming. But it annoys me that a huge amount of those people are not paying the tax and they're getting now extra promotion from us.
Right.
If that's what we're doing through the club.
Covering that, it's not something I would ever have thought about. And you're right, because they're legally responsible to pay taxes to the city.
Right.
B, that's where we, through the city, get a good portion of the budget that we get to use, in addition
Right.
to get from the club and the POA. And technically it's tax evasion, maybe in a very, very small level.
Correct.
But if we can go from getting, like last year, I think we got $4,000 from the city, and maybe we could have gotten 8,000. Who knows? That's just a number I'm throwing out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm going to open this up to city representatives, city manager, mayor, guys from the council. What can be done about that? I mean, that's the city's money, and then some of that becomes the marketing money, and some of that becomes the money that we remit to Raven County, I'm assuming, unless it's coming out of their portion. So anybody with a city affiliation, what do you think?
First, Bob, I have a question for Carla. Carla, do you have any insight on whether or not we could get VRBO to collect it or why they don't collect it?
I think they don't collect it because it's probably not, well, because we haven't forced them to, number one. I know for a fact that Florida sued Verbo and Airbnb to make them start collecting it and remitting it.
Mhm.
And you can still opt out as an owner. You can say, no, I'm going to pay the taxes myself. And I guess you could say you weren't going to do that, but, and then you could get the money and then not do it. And again, most of the people that do that sort of thing are people that have many, many properties. And then most of those people have managers, property management firms that do remit. That's how I used to run my place in Florida. You can still opt out and do it individually, but as I said, it's a pain in the neck and I wanted no part of it. So I'm thrilled to have them do it. I think if we sent a letter to Verbo and said, hey, you have listings for 300 properties that are listed in our city limits and we're not getting taxes from most of them, you know, start with that. Maybe the lawyer needs to send it and say, what is your ability? The other thing we have is that I had an argument with them about Dillard. Because of our zip code, they claimed I was in Dillard, which is technically true. However, the city of Sky Valley, you know, has this extra tax. I don't know what Dillard city tax is on rentals or if they even have one, but I did bring it to their attention that in my case, that was incorrect. So I think we could start with a letter, you know, from the city or the city's council, maybe countersigned by him saying, hey, we need you to help us fix this problem and see what they say. The other thing would be to, again, compare the list of what's on Verbo with who is paying taxes. It's fairly easy to tell because the owners are listed in the properties. They usually list a name or who it's managed by. And compare that to the list of who is paying taxes and send those people that are not, you know, a nasty letter or a nasty gram or a, hey, you know, we see that you are collecting these taxes and you're not remitting them. That's, you know, whatever position we want to take. But it annoys me because I hate rules. Anybody who knows me well knows that. But if I'm going to follow the rules, then my opinion is everybody else damn sure is. So, and then, you know, from the city, I'm always hearing the city needs money. The city needs money. Well, this is a big money maker.
Yeah.
And so I would start with, well, you can go at it from both sides at the same time, frankly, and see what happens. I don't know what Verbo is owned by Expedia now, which is a, you know, a multinational company, and they don't want tax problems with entities.
Sure.
So we're small, we're not the state, but hey, we're not nobody.
And like you say, Carla, maybe because we're small, every dollar means more to us
Correct.
than to a bigger entity that can miss a few thousands or millions and not miss as we miss it.
Well, I think we could do a two-pronged approach, like Carla suggested, that our attorney is a talented writer who can make it look like, first of all, we can send the letter to VRBO asking them to collect it, and at the same time send a very friendly reminder to all our property owners that are renting that the tax is due, and enclose the letter that we sent to VRBO, so they'll realize, uh-oh, this sounds like the city is really serious about it.
Okay, what does anybody else, particularly city affiliated people and just taking positions feel? Do you feel like we've got a next step, Jason and or Madam Mayor?
Hey, Bob.
Go ahead.
This is new information to me. I was made aware of this from talking with Carla yesterday, and I've got some ideas moving forward, and I'm sure I'll be talking with the mayor about trying to aggressively pursue this.
Okay, perfect. Well, the journey begins with the first step, and thank you for doing that. Now, as far as the
Bob?
Yes.
Bob, I just want to thank Carla for taking on the job of coordinating with all our local home renters. I really think that whether or not they're willing to do a 10% discount or not, we should continue to pursue that, because I think
Correct.
there's just a bigger impact if you spend the night in Sky Valley and you're driving around in the roads and everything,
Mhm.
and if you just come in the front entrance and go back out the front entrance again. We want people to see Sky Valley. And, I just think there's a double impact of having folks actually stay in the city and in our neighborhoods.
I think
It'll sell itself.
And I
you're
would
right.
like to say that of those who I've spoken to and the ones that I will continue to try to contact, I have procured emails, which we didn't have apparently at the city, and information about their property as far as how many it sleeps and listing number if they are on Verbo or Airbnb. So I'm working on getting that for the people that we have. And frankly, I know that the clerks are busy and maybe it takes someone who's more used to dealing with Verbo, and I would be willing to help them to a limit. Remember, I'm still working. But
Yeah.
I do think, the more information we can get, and certainly we want to promote those people who are following the rules above just everybody else blatantly. So
True.
I am still working, and everyone I spoke to was very receptive. And I just told them we weren't exactly sure how this was going to work, but we were just trying to collect a list of people. And someone else on the list said, one of the gentlemen I spoke to said that he had made the city hall aware of that, the situation with the taxes before. However, that was before Jason's tenure. So, and I don't know really if he spoke to Ella or whoever, or one of the clerks, but at any rate, we do definitely, in my mind, need to aggressively pursue that. And everybody I've spoken to has been receptive to participate. Discounts, maybe not so much. So I
Yeah.
just told them we would be in touch with more information once we hammered out this situation.
Well, as you said, Carla, we appreciate everything you've been doing and giving us really good
Thank you.
information. And regarding we did some brainstorming. Everything we've done here is we're inventing the wheel or reinventing the wheel, or we're just trying to, in my
Right.
marketing career, my marketing teaching career, was like, you brainstorm. Let's come up with the ideas. This is, if this was a way to do it, okay, let's get these people to do this and offer something in return and blah, 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 blah. And if that's not the way it goes, you adjust your plan. Okay, it's cyclical.
Right.
We come up with an idea, let's see if it works, reevaluate it, make changes, go on. So personally, I'm not all sold on an absolute necessity to everybody that we're going to support has to offer something, but it's kind of like you're a young man and you want to date the pretty girl. If you don't ask, you don't get. You want to take her out, you got to ask her. If you say, hey, can you offer something to our potential clients? They say no. Well, okay. I think what Jim said is true, is that I hope I didn't offend anybody by my analogy. I am an old guy and I'm going to die before before I'm politically correct. I just know that that's going to
Well,
happen.
there you go. Me too. And gentlemen, and ladies, I apologize, but I'm at a croquet event and it is my turn to participate in this situation. So I'll try to listen to this recording as soon as it's posted.
Okay.
And then please reach out to me if you need anything else specific.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Great
okay.
work.
Take
Great
care.
work.
Thank you. Goodbye.
So if there are organizations that have offered a discount, and I think some of the hotels may have done that already. I know that Julep Farms wanted to participate but not offer something, and I'm okay with that. Like Jim said, get them here. If we get something out of them, hey, come stay, we'll give you a free muffin before you go play golf, great. If we can't get that, it's still more important that they come and see all the beautiful possibilities. And appreciate that the club has actually put a page on their website already that has listed some of what's been done so far, including a link to BROB. So let's just keep it moving until we get it in place, and then we can forget about it. Just like everything else. Okay, let's move on. We'll be able to spend more new time on other things that can bring more returns. I know that Bill, I always have trouble remembering how to pronounce your last name. Is it Thies or Thies? And do you have anything you want to offer being a property owner?
Hey, Bob. It's Peace. Rhymes with peace.
Thies, okay.
Peace.
I was listening to what Carla, and I did talk to Carla a couple days ago. I think, there's probably an easier solution to this. And, I'm in Fort Lauderdale. The vacation rental market's big down here. We're not involved in it down here. But Fort Lauderdale regulates the vacation rental business. And so you're required, and they work with the people that are involved in the business. You're required to have a license, so there's an income stream there to the city. And then you're required to follow the ordinances that govern the vacation rental industry, which basically is noise ordinances, life safety issues for swimming pools and fire and that kind of thing. So the most successful collaborations I've seen, around the country and doing my deep dive and in my learning curve in this business are vacation rental organizations or individuals that are working closely with the municipalities. So Sky Valley doesn't require a vacation rental license. Maybe it's something for the future to consider. And then that gives you your in to enforce all of these things, such as collecting sales tax. And in the ordinance down here, for instance, if you don't have a license and you have vacation renters in your property, they will come and fine you, and you're dealing with their lawyers overnight. So they take it very seriously. And I think that's the way you have to govern this thing, because you don't want you don't want shoddy type of operators out there, and you're recommending them as the city or the club or the POA. So just a thought I had when I was listening to Carlos. You did a lot of good downfield blocking on that topic.
Well, we appreciate you being involved in the work you've done in helping us and renting your particular properties to us for inexpensively when we need them. And appreciate you kind of coming on board. And if you and Carla as owners have intimate knowledge that some of us that are not renters have, and if you could work with Jason and Madam Mayor, the city council members, because this is an important topic. And as Carla said, it could be a lot of money, and you guys have some knowledge, particularly with your experience of knowledge of the Florida rules. Maybe they exist up here and nobody's just ever looked into them. And, it could be a payoff for all of us. So I'll just ask the people that are on the committee to continue moving this forward with the city officials. And again, let's get that fixed, squared away, so that we're not talking about the same thing next year. It'll all be set, and we'll be getting paid, and we'll be getting money, and everything will be legal, and the properties will be available to anybody that wants to come. And again, kudos to the club for already getting it up on their website. And eventually, as we've talked about over the months, and Jamie has agreed to kind of be a point person on the city's website and making it that one go-to, go like Walmart, one-stop shop for everything and be done with it. Because that's the way I am. And with websites, if a website is not easily navigatable, I'm done. I don't hang out. If it's taken me too long to find out, like I even had to, I think I emailed Ed recently about, Ed, I'm trying to find the real estate page on the POA website, which of course I get to the POA website, they go into the Sky Valley website, to the POA website, to this, it's like, and I'm in Never Land, and I had to ask Ed, how do I get there? We don't want that to happen with people that are going to visit for the first time, because they don't understand the intricacies of, they just say, okay, Sky Valley, not, okay, Sky Valley, but Sky Valley is this, and Sky Valley is this, and Sky Valley is this, and if you want this, you got to go here. And then by that time, I would already be gone. So we want to make it easy, navigatable information. We want to provide it to them because they're our customers, as opposed to, well, if they want to know, they'll go hunt and peck. Well, we need to make it easier than that. So thank you for all of you that are doing that. And Jamie, who's going to step up. And I think the website would be a big thing if we could get it as functional as we possibly can get it. Not that it wouldn't be approved in the future, but maybe by the time this season is done, before we hit next season, man, we got just an awesome website. And I think I've recommended that some of you look at, I think it's Blue Ridge, blueridge.com, which is an example website of a municipality that Forward Raven is using, like as an example. We can look at it and talk about what they've done because it looks so great. And maybe you guys could, spend a little bit of your computer time or make some computer time to just look at that as an example. I don't think we have to reinvent the wheel. I think we can look at other places and people and say, hey, that's awesome. Let's do something like that. Yes.
Yeah, just a question about discounts we're going to offer them. As you
Yeah.
aware, Julep Farms, I've had several discussions with people, and of course they like Julep Farms and they think that's the kind of restaurant facilities that we want to be part of.
Right.
But in this case, they're busy and they have no interest at this point in offering a discount. So are we going to make a decision? Or are we going to promote these people, or are we going to leave it up to just the people that offer a discount? So with that, how are we going to use this material? The season, obviously we're into the season now, and how do we publish this for the people that are on it?
Well, all good questions, and part of what we discussed with Carla. At the beginning, we're like, hey, let them give us something for it. Why promote somebody who's not going to do anything? But if that's not a possibility, do you do nothing? And I'm not in agreement that you do nothing. Okay, you ask the girl or you ask the business, will you give a discount? Yes, great. You go to the head of the list if we had a list that we could do it that way. But if they say no, but we still want to be part of it, you say, well, that's too bad, so sad, you're not in. I think we conclude people that want to be involved. Even if it's just like, yeah, I want to be on your website. And at this particular time, it seems to be a combination of websites, and then Doug sent out emails all the time, and he has some people that are going to somehow orchestrate and work a phone number. So we would obviously promote that too. Now, all of this stuff is in flux. There's nothing that's existing over here that says this is the one and only way we're doing it. And if you said, well, how do I contact these people? Look at the little squares here. Those are the people at this point. We kind of make the decisions on what's it going to be and what's it going to be and how's it going to be and how are we going to get it out there. So there's a TV show that I watch. It's called SWAT. And I don't know if you're familiar with it, but the lead character used to be on CSI or something like that. And as the leader of the SWAT squad, he says, stay liquid. Meaning it's in flux. You walk in, you bust the door open, you gotta, and I think that's where we are. We have to stay liquid. We want to do it this way, great. If that doesn't work, we gotta have it. So input at this point is important. And if we say, hey, it must be this way, well, okay. You ask for that. If you can't get it, then you're like, okay, what's plan B?
I mentioned this the last time, and I'm still confused about it. What does Julep Farms, using them as the example, get for giving a discount at their place for somebody to come up here and play golf?
Well, in theory, if we would then say, hey, we want to put you on our website, we want to put you in our advertisement for you, that's your. Now, some people are saying, hey, I don't need you to do that because I'm booking with my house. I don't need to do that, but I still want to be identified. So then we come in behind and say, okay, are we good with that? And we'll talk to Harry in a minute. Harry is VP of the board of the country club. I'm still correct in that, right, Harry? You're the VP of the board of the country club? Okay. Any event, we've had conversations and Harry's not in support of even the discount from the country club, which is their prerogative. It's an ask. Can you do it?
All right, so what about for people like Julep Farms or the Inn in Highlands, or people that have rooms, for
Right.
reservations to book? can
Well, I
we
think that,
reach out and partner with them maybe to ask them to do on their website,
Okay,
stay there and play golf package. And they book, they have an ability to book a golf package and sell a golf package from their website, which directly sends people here. As opposed to just giving somebody a discount at their place. I think that's asking a lot of any hotel to give somebody a discount to go play golf in Sky Valley. And some of these places just don't need to be on our website,
You're-
like you said.
you're right. Some of them don't need it. Some of them want to be promoted, but I don't want to invest money in it. Some don't need to. I don't know how well Julep Farms is doing now. Maybe they're doing perfectly well. I know that they're tight financially, so maybe they just don't have it in their budget to say, we're barely making it is. And I'm just saying this is a hypothetical. I'm not saying that this is reality. Love to do it. I think it sets on our shoulders to say, what are we willing to accept and how can we use it to our benefit? Obviously, whatever deal you're involved in doing business, you want it to be a win-win. Now, what is each side willing to put into that? So it's open to us to make the determination of who's in, who's out. I'm leaning more toward now, and that's just being liquid. At the beginning, you're like, well, tell people you'd like them to provide something. If they don't, then maybe we go to his competitor. For example, if the Dillard House would and Julep Farm wouldn't, then we would better promote the Dillard House. But if, as a general rule, we're finding.
But I really think you're going to get in trouble with that. That's just like, you're going to make Julep Farms mad. They're right down the hill and they're not going to just tell somebody go have a ride up or go play golf. I mean, just that word of mouth.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Your opinion counts. Jim's opinion counts. My opinion counts. We're all going to have varieties. That's why we discuss it and say, what do we want to come up with as, if you want to call it a group agreement or a group policy, what's the best way to go? Now, I've been in marketing most of my adult life, and I always go for the best I can get. And I don't worry too much about people's feelings. In business, I don't worry too much about their feelings, but that's just me. As a matter of fact, your opinions are more valuable than mine. Because, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I figured out my mute button. I've got a couple of quick, I respect everybody's opinion, but I really believe that it's important on the website to identify high quality available places for lunches or zip lines or whatever is available. Whether they'll give a discount, it still enhances the entire presentation of the area to show people what is around Sky Valley that might be interesting to them to come and visit us. A lot of people may not be looking for a 10% discount on breakfast. They may just be looking for high quality things to do in the area.
I agree. And I think the first thing that we try to do is do a stay and play for golf, and then let's get the stays. And then
high quality
George Powell,
at a reasonable price.
George Powell, who owns the zip line thing, I've spoken to him several times about he would like to be involved, but I think we're not yet to peripheral stuff. Let's promote places where people could stay, because that is the big thing in Sky Valley. Even according to Doug, there's not a place in Sky Valley that's readily out there. Like Carla said before, this is the one time she wished there was a hotel here. We don't have it. If we say, hey, even our billboard says, come and visit or come and stay. Great, I want to come and stay. How do you do that? Now, I think having places to stay and promote them, even if it's just say here, 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 and here, or stay here because they're giving you money off, we're the ones that are gonna determine that. And if we're finding people or businesses don't want to, well, then we decide, okay, do we just want to provide the information so people will come anyway and spend the money? Because quite frankly, outside of hotel and motel tax, we may or may not currently get, the city isn't gonna make any money off of people coming up here, unless I'm wrong. I mean, will hotels make money? Yeah. Will the club make some money? Yeah. Will timeshare make some money if people stay there? Yeah, but there's not gonna be a cash register where people come in the front gate that every time they come in, he's
If
making
they
money.
if they buy property, they're gonna be paying property taxes to the city.
True, true. So that's more of a side benefit, you know, one of the reasons why we have and the POA was agreeable to do is put the properties for sale on a site that, hey, when you're up here, hey, what's available? Yes, agreeable, but let's get the body. Usually they're not gonna buy unless they've come up, seen, and/or stayed. So-
I had no idea that we had 300 verbos in Sky Valley. That's worth mentioning on the website, and people can use their own navigation skills.
Exactly.
One that's appropriate for them.
Right. And I agree with that too. It is, I think we're doing a good job and maybe we'll do a better job in making that city website, and you've already done it with a page on the country club site, make it easier for them. Could they do it themselves? Yeah. You know, I found Sky Valley because I got the internet and looked all different places to look at houses that were just up in northeast Georgia. If we do what we're doing, it would be easier to say, oh, I've heard of Sky. As a matter of fact, my wife and I had both been to Sky Valley before and said, oh yeah, Sky Valley, let's look there. All we're trying to do is make it easier for them. And if we're able to give them a little spiff back, great. If we can't, we're not really losing anything. We're going to gain from it anyway. But if somebody said, let's say Gordon was going to start a business and this other business going to associate with him, and they're going to, and companies do this all the time. It's called cross merchandising. You buy Coke and you get this. You buy cereal and you get a coupon for $1 off milk. It happens all the time. It's not unusual. Now, is it unusual that we're using it in our valley? Perhaps. Will it work? It'll work if it's set up to work, but if it doesn't work, I'm not for just walking away from it. Okay, if nobody wants to do it, let's just get their names on people, and people come in and see the valley and, you know, maybe buy a property when they're here, play golf or whatever, whether they get a discount or not. We're trying to create a wheel, and we can put whatever spokes on the wheel we want. And I'm for what's going to have the best payoff, even if it's just sheer number of people coming to Sky Valley.
Bob,
So-
can I add something real quick?
Go ahead.
First of all, I agree with Jamie. I like the idea of a reciprocal email partnership, possibly with some of these other entities.
Great. Yeah.
And also, I'd like to ask Tony, since he was the president of the Chamber of Commerce, I know he would have some experience maybe to help us with this this enigma. Tony, you have anything you need to add? I see his name. Oh, here he
Yep.
is.
I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. Listen, I've been listening to this. And the only real comment I have is, if I'm not mistaken, and I think, I give 80% guarantee that this is right, and I will find out further to nail it down. But I think that there's a law firm that specializes in tracking down people who don't pay this. Of course, they're going to take a cut of what they find, but they go back, in history. And if you haven't been paying it, they'll make it retroactive. And so you gotta fess up and pay what you owed before. And I think that the city or county here did that originally one time, and it increased drastically the number of people who were reporting and then paying taxes. So that may be an option for you to consider. You may not want to do that up front,
No.
Bobby. Just try to get people to start, which would be good. but it's, you know, it's an opportunity. And I really do appreciate Carla doing the legwork, because I've been mentioning this for a couple of years, talking about it. I knew that there was a great opportunity here that was untapped. I had no idea how big it was. And if it is in fact 300 versus 60, then it's certainly big. But you know, if you wanted to go back on that, you certainly could. But I think we're going in the right direction, and just make it easy, and make the onus, you know, as unburdensome as possible on the people who participate.
Tony, how did you work out the deal? I assume that you all had a website, is that correct?
We did, yes.
And how did you work out the deal with what entities you put on your website?
We wound up doing a couple of things. Number one is we had a screen in the welcome center that was an information screen, you know, where to stay, where to eat, where to play, all those things. And everybody would be listed on there. If you were a member of the chamber, you would be listed in color and featured up front. And if you were just somebody out there that didn't want to belong to the chamber, we put you in black and white at the bottom of the screen, you know, in smaller letters. I mean, you know, we put your information out there, but we featured the members. So that's the way we did it.
Okay.
And I agree with what Jamie said and what you followed up with, Holly. Maybe the give back is that they just put us in their ads.
Yeah.
Our website, put us on yours.
Sure.
Maybe that will pay off. If they
Yeah.
want to get to the customer, great. Then that's between them and the customer. It's not really between us and them. So like I say, we can figure it out. It's a Rubik's Cube. What's going to best work and get everybody with the colors on the right side and everybody's happy with it. And we have some time to do this. Like I say, maybe perhaps we can get this put to bed by the end of this season, if not before, so that for future seasons, it's already in place. If it happens sooner, if it doesn't, how can we move the car down the road?
And we are very cognizant that our website needs a lot of work.
Yeah. And I like the idea of what Tony said, that there's a legal entity that will go back. Now, I'm saying we should go to all work, but in some of this communication, maybe not the first communication, but let people know that, hey, it's your legal responsibility, and there is some potential recourse if you are one of those bad people that hasn't done or refuses to do it. There is recourse, maybe not up front, of course, because you want to go with your best foot, smiling face forward. But
Well, we can always put all the wild hogs on those properties.
and Tony, if you would, because of your background and your knowledge of the thing, would you please take a very active role in this stay and play? Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a package. That was the term that Doug used. And if it was a package, great, but stay and play in general, because in one of the articles that posted in one of his last emails, and I flipped through that entire magazine. Stay and play is a common term for golf places, and they were listing them. And so it's not something new. It's not something people haven't heard of. Maybe we have never executed it here. But the other thing, and Harry and Gordon and Bob in the article, and I didn't. Apparently, our Sky Valley Country Club is the #1 rated public course in Georgia. I didn't know that. Now, there's other places that are nice places too, but they're not public courses. So we have to tell people all the reasons why, including the people, we're the #1 public course in northern Georgia. And we think you're the #1 local restaurant. Shouldn't we have a marriage? It's not about begging them, oh, please, please, please. I'm not saying we're doing that, but you know, some people don't like to ask other people. I've been asking people for things and money and stuff my entire career. You change if you have to, but you don't apologize for asking. I mean, half of the guys, maybe more than half the guys on this website wouldn't be married if you didn't ask the girl. But she wasn't going to come to you. That was supposed to be a joke. I don't see anybody.
We got it.
Bob,
Yes.
I've got a side note. Has this been discussed or did anybody notice the fact that this publisher of the Ohio Golf Journal wants to be in Sky Valley August 8th and 11th? And I was wondering if Bill Teese might have an available property for them to use.
Bill, I don't know if Doug has been in contact with you because I've asked him direct contact. So go ahead.
Yeah, I've talked to Doug about it.
Okay.
Our calendar right now. What are those dates again, Harry?
It mentions August 8th through 11th. And I don't know, it looks like maybe he says a couple of nights.
Yeah, so in my comment, well, I'm looking at our calendar and we're all booked on those dates. All 5 places are. So that's what's going on in the business, like Carla was referring to. Very busy right now. And when I talked to Doug, I mentioned that I'll be glad to help any way I can, whenever I can. My only advice to him was the more of a heads up we get, the better our availability. Obviously, certain times a year, there's a lot more availability. And
Okay.
If you're scheduling these folks, the writers or photographers, whoever, if you concentrate on Mondays and Tuesdays, you're also going to have a much better day. But right now, the summer, and I'm sure everybody else will say the same thing, the summers are filling up pretty quickly.
What is Carla's last name?
Stall.
Oh.
S-A-A-L.
Thank you.
And I don't know if anybody has any update from timeshare, but I know that they offered to let city workers stay when they were plowing. Is there any opening, crack in the door that even on occasion, like if we can't find a place for the golf writer to come up and stay in a place, do they have a room that we would be willing to rent for them for a night or two, or are they still just away no how?
Right now, Bob, they are saying they are not renting. And the reason that they give us access to those rooms, of course, it's winter time and they do have some openings at that point. But I think it would be good for Gordon and I possibly to meet again with Jerry and maybe rehash the possibility of rentals. What do you think, Gordon? Gordon, you're muted, honey.
Unmute. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. He was supposed to follow up, but yes, it'd be a timely follow-up.
Yeah.
I do want to follow up though on the motel, just see, try to put some kind of conclusion here. First of all, I think more important if we could obviously get the people to stay right in Sky Valley. I mean, that's always been, in my opinion, the number one objective, I think, with Doug. If that could be had, then we go outside. The issue of having the VRBO is just really, really, I think, important. And if we had timeshares, that would obviously take care of it. So, but my question is, what do you want me to do in terms of the motels? Just let it go for a while? We have commitments. What's the next step? Or just wait for a bit? Sort of a sense of direction.
Well, Gordon, I'll jump in with one person's opinion on that. I think it's far more important to be able to start advertising the package, whether there's a discount involved or not. We're going to learn so much the first season. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to see ways to make it better. I think the sooner we start, the sooner we can start getting people up to Sky Valley and start having some feedback and get some experience with it.
Well, technically it has started because the club has put, and I encourage you to go there. I look on the different sites periodically, and I think we all need to do that. And club has a page, Stay and Play, and it lists some hotels. And I didn't look at every single site within that page to see what's going on, but technically it's started. We want to expand it. Can we do it quickly? Hopefully. Let's do it right either way. And yeah, I want to, Gateway, yeah, sure.
Can I jump in? We had a comment about the VRBO business, and I assumed, I think correctly, that because Dillard and Sky Valley have the same zip code, that there would be some confusion in the number of rentals. According to Debbie Dahlhaus, she looked on the website, and it looks like that she says the 300 VRBO listings for Sky Valley include Dillard, Clayton, Scaly Mountain, and Highlands. So it looks like actually Sky Valley listings are closer to 50 to 70.
Okay.
Just thought I'd throw that in there.
This is just a question, Madam Mayor.
Yes,
Is there any possibility worth doing to get our own zip code? Is it even possible?
I don't know.
Think so.
I don't think so, but I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Who says I don't think so? Who was that?
That was Jim.
Jim, you don't think so because you've got.
I don't,
Well, you'd have
Well-
to have a post office up here. I don't think we could get a post office up here.
we're overserved by post offices.
Yeah.
There's,
All right.
between Clayton and,
Well, that's-
and here, there's 5.
That's a good answer. I just didn't know, and we
Yeah.
don't,
Yeah.
yes, we don't. Thank you. I'm getting educated every day. Okay, I think with the stay and play, whether you want to call it stay and play packages, or do they give a discount or not, I think is let's get people to Sky Valley.
Yeah.
Who wants to be involved? Maybe the payoff for us would be put us on your advertising or on your
Yeah.
website. Putting you, one hand washes the other, and let it go with that. And then we can promote that. Can it be changed in the future? Yeah. But let's get it cooked. Maybe 2 years from now, we say, hey, well, we'll do a different thing, but we already got it going. So I would strongly encourage, now, unfortunately, Doug's not here, but that the committee of people that agreed to be stay and play people communicate with each other. Talk to each other, email each other, call Doug if you need to. Now, I'm not saying you don't know that you do. And if you're on a committee together, if we wait meeting to a month later meeting to a month later meeting, it'll be, 3 years from now before we were able to decide on complicated issues. And this is a complicated issue.
Yeah.
So I'll talk with Doug this week and let him know what we discussed. Karen's going to put the minutes together. I'll probably make sure everybody gets those as quickly as we can, and keep taking steps, baby steps, little steps. Does anybody else have anything they want to say about it, or have we kind of talked it out?
Bob,
Bob,
how about we set up a subcommittee to deal with this particular issue with Jamie on it and Gordon, maybe Bill Thies and Tony Allred, and kind of come up with suggestions to present to us.
Well, I think we actually did that, Holly, but it probably.
Okay,
And in my understanding, it had Jim and Gordon and Harry, and then we added Carla and Bill this time, and now Tony. So if we want to republish that, Karen, that this stay and play subcommittee.
yeah. We can set it up on Zoom if you need, if we all can't get together, since some of
Yep.
us are in Florida.
Yeah, we've offered that, so we can just reiterate that.
Okay,
Because I think this is, according to Doug, this is probably,
Bob,
yes.
sorry, can you go over who the subcommittee would consist of again?
Okay, well, first off, it's Doug.
Right,
My memory serves me correctly, it was Jim, Gordon, and Harry. And then we added Carla and Bill, and then Tony.
right, okay.
I think Jamie would be good too, since she's going to be working on the website with us.
Okay.
Aren't
Janie,
you
we're,
glad? Okay.
Jamie, we're gonna sign you up for everything, TV, radio, websites, personal appearances.
Oh, I didn't tell you I was going on vacation and I won't be back till October.
You could be on Zoom, Jamie.
I think you
Oh,
just, I think you just made that up. All right, if there's enough
Bob,
discussion.
I just want to say that I've learned a lot from everybody, every single person that made a comment. There was something in there that I learned that I hadn't heard before. And I appreciate you pointing out that we can sharpen our message on the #1 golf course. And I think that was also the point that Jamie was making about what do businesses get by cooperating with us in a package deal. And I would say that it's that, we're spending a lot of money to get more attention in Sky Valley and you get people into the area, and that by virtue of our free publicity that we're not charging anybody for, we are giving them a chance to get additional business that they might not otherwise get. And I'm perfectly happy if we give them some free advertising to start with, or maybe forever.
And if you want to use a technical marketing term, it's called cross merchandising, and it's a matter of fact in the business world.
Yeah, and maybe there's a minor moral obligation if we publicize Julep Farms. Eventually, maybe they'll start seeing the value in it. I know they want to expand. And
Especially if it's free. They don't even have to give up a month.
right, exactly. And
Things.
I don't mean to single out the club, but Harry, if the club's reluctant to do any discounting, that's fine. But what you might want to do is say, pick out the Dillard House because they've got a bunch of folks, and only the Dillard House would get a coupon for 10% off for a golf ticket that they might not otherwise, that we might not otherwise realize if the Dillard House didn't offer that to their clients. So I'm just thinking there's lots of different ways to work these things. There's a lot of ways to dip our toes in.
Well, we're brainstorming. I appreciate your ideas, Jim, and the club can do what they want because they're a separate business entity.
Oh, yeah.
Let's throw stuff to some degree. When you brainstorm, you brainstorm. You brainstorm, you come up with everything. There's no stupid idea in brainstorming. But then you go through them and say, well, that will work, this one won't work. Too expensive, this or that. And then you come up with what works, what's logistically feasible, what's financially, what's going to work for all parties, and then you have a program. So I'm all for ideas, good, bad, or indifferent at the beginning. Hopefully nobody gets upset about ideas. Some people, when you suggest something, and I'm not saying you find people, I'm talking about other people that I know. Who are you to suggest anything to me? Otherwise, if we didn't have suggestions, we'd still be cooking by a fire and not have a wheel because nothing would have been invented and agreed upon. Just two quick. Who's that? Gordon, is that you?
No, it's not.
Okay. Two quick things just from the print advertising standpoint. The latest Mountain Traveler magazine, meaning the spring summer edition, will be available at the City Hall sometime this week for pickup. We are going to, as we all agreed to, go with the fall edition because that's their most popular. Of course, once you start spending money with places, they keep calling you. So I get calls all the time and of course they want us to be in Lake Living. And I'm only bringing it up here because I don't think we need to, because Lake Living is a magazine that saddles on or focuses on lake communities. And we're not a lake community. So, and I said, well, I said to him, if you had the choice, no, I did this one. So we're staying in Mountain. We're not doing Lake Living.
I'm interested in the lakes, and I read all the articles, and I think they've got some great general interest stuff in there. And they certainly get to the same demographic that we're looking for. And I just think a lot of tourists pick that stuff up and take it home and read it.
That may be true, and I disagree. But if we have X amount of money that we have available to spend, and I said to him, which one would you spend your money on? This one or this one?
Right.
Got
Okay,
it? So
sure.
give me spend for my dollar.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if you disagree and want me to spend more money, go ahead, let me know.
No, the happiest thing I heard today was that we're going to be advertising up in Ohio
Yeah,
because their weather is terrible, summer
Yeah.
and winter, if you don't live on the lake.
that's right. Okay, those are all the topics. I thought we'd be done sooner than this, but those are the topics. Anybody have anything else that they want to bring up? Okay, anybody want to adjourn?
What date, next meeting? Next meeting date.
Thank you, Gordon. Thank you, sir. All right, 4 weeks from today is June 24th. Is that where people want to do it? Okay, let's just say
Looks
Thursday,
good to me.
June 24th, Thursday, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it works for me.
I'm hesitating a little bit because I keep hearing myself feeding back and I'm thinking it's somebody else talking to me. Okay, motion to adjourn?
I make, a
Before we do that, when is the planning committee for the 4th of July going to meet? Do we have a date yet?
I don't know. I'm not involved in that. That's,
Oh, I think Holly's, she said something,
June 2nd.
June 2nd.
Mhm. That's correct.
I'm
June
sorry,
2nd.
it's already on my calendar.
Yeah, June 2nd at
It's a good-
11 o'clock.
It's a good thing I have a calendar because I don't have something else.
by the way, the POA's first pancake breakfast is this coming Memorial Day, Monday. I
Right.
won't be, I'm out of town, but it's one of the fun things. I hadn't missed one of them since we lived there until now. And I've been on a diet, so I wish I could eat some pancakes, but go if you can. All right, we had one motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second,
Okay. Anybody disagreeing? Awesome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate your opinions. And I'll see you when I see you. And Jamie, we better see you before October.
I'm signing off. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
bye-bye. Thank you, Bob.
All right, thank you.